Welcome to Spirit Healer, a Hearthstone Mercenaries Podcast. Your resting point between quests. Let's join our hosts as we talk about this week's events in Hearthstone Mercenaries.
Welcome to Spirit Healer, a Hearthstone Mercenaries podcast focused on taking you through Mercenaries news, updates, and weekly topics to keep you at the top of your Mercenaries game. I'm dragonrider, joined as always by my fellow hosts, Cinder and Siimba. Hey, everybody's back this week. Yay.
Ah,
Woo, party!
I live.
Oh, it's been an intense couple of weeks, I feel like, though. So we decided we were going to kind of talk about that. There isn't really any news still, but it's been the holidays. Pretty much a lot of the folks are out of the office. It's just a really slow time for changes and things going on in the game. So before we get into our main topic that we have, we wanted to take a little bit of time and just talk about some other things going on. So anyone want to kick it off?
What has been going on? So we had Christmas and New Year's. Did you guys go anywhere? Do anything?
Oh boy. Boy, did I go places.
Hey, Dr. Seuss, where'd you go?
Yeah, well, I've been the one who's been missing most of all. So yeah, the big story there is I've been we've been looking for a new home out in Oklahoma, and it's going well. It was fraught with fits and starts and pitfalls, but we're close. We're very, very close. We'll hopefully move in about a month. But yeah, I've been running ragged for the last 2 weeks. Like, this was actually supposed to be my Christmas break. I've been go nonstop since Christmas Day. Just like I've not had a minute to breathe. But the hustle is for the end goal of getting into that shiny new house out on a couple acres in Oklahoma. And yeah, that's been kind of dominating that my time. Other things on the side, like trying to get paperwork and getting furniture and getting a moving company and yada yada. But yeah, the grind is real, but the end is near.
Phenomenal. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, we wish you luck in getting that, because I know, like, moving and just finding all that stuff and dealing with all of that can be so stressful sometimes and just, like, so exhausting, especially on top of, like, trying to add that into everything else that you were already doing. It's like, it's a lot.
Yeah, because I've been driving back and forth to Oklahoma to do this. Like, I'm not, a lot of the stuff can be done digitally nowadays. Like, you can close a house digitally. Did you know that? You don't even have to be there. They just send you the PDF and you sign it and that's it. But we still wanted to go there and see it in person, and kind of scope things out. So I've been up and down twice now. It's a 10-hour drive, so it's been I'm so tired, y'all.
Yeah, that's a lot of driving. I like driving. It's super funny to say that I like driving, but I hate long drives. Like, I just get so no, I'm so serious.
Yeah.
I like driving itself, like highway driving, even night driving, anything that's not like rain or tornadic weather. I'm here for it. I enjoy it. But like, you get like 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, 8 out, and I'm just like, can we not? Like, I'm good.
It's so funny. I think I'm like the opposite of that. Like, give me the long drives. Like, so here's a little background. So my husband and I, well, Cinder was there as well, but we went to DreamHack Atlanta in November of 2018.
Yeah.
My husband and I drove. That was a 24-hour drive one way.
That is pants on head. Nutty.
But I don't know. Like, I hate flying, so I don't know. We like road trips, so
Yeah,
it works for us. But
it was one of those things. Like, the first time I went out, I had got a plane ticket. I'm like, I'm gonna fly up there and I'm gonna do it. But like, I did because I figured, the flight from down here close to New Orleans, from New Orleans to Oklahoma City, the flight itself is very, very short. but you have to get to the airport 2 hours ahead. You gotta get the rental car. You gotta drive out into the country. You gotta, there's a layover in Houston, and by the time you add up all those things, it's like an 8-hour journey just to get from my house to the destination by way of all the flying and everything. And I'm like, I can drive it in 10. What's the difference? Like, I would have preferred, and I did prefer to just have the freedom to drive and see the country, So yeah, it's been. I mean, I've enjoyed it to an extent, but it is exhausting.
Yeah, I understand that cooped up feeling though. Some of that you're talking about, like, it can kind of feel like you're just cooped up there, which I guess honestly is like kind of how sometimes it's been feeling since COVID, because like, especially since I started doing content creation full time, like I don't leave my house really, except like go grocery shopping. So sometimes it feels that way. But apart from not going on any road trips, Siimba, how's your last couple of weeks been?
Christmas was super chill. I didn't go anywhere. Because I live in a college town. My little brother goes to college here, and my parents don't live super far away, so they just came up here, and so like that was pretty nice to not have to travel. We didn't do a whole lot. We watched the new Matrix movie. I was a fan of the Matrix, but I now am still a fan of the Matrix. That was not a bad movie. I still need to see the new Spider-Man movie. My grandmother got my brother and I both desk chairs, and I have to assume that my mother or father said something, because I got a gaming chair for the first time in my entire life. So
hell yeah,
I'm pumped, because the gaming chair is like 2/3 of your luck. Besides, the other third is like streamer luck. So like, I was just trash before this chair. So
Oh, is that how it works?
That's what they told me. I don't know if that's true.
That's the secret. You heard it here.
Yeah. So let's talk about cool Christmas presents. Oh, I will say Matrix, good, not great. I did enjoy just like the Sense8 cast reunion.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they filmed Sense8 and then Lano was like, okay, now before we leave, y'all wanna do a couple more scenes, just a side project, nothing big.
Turns it into a Matrix movie. All right. See you guys later.
Exactly. But yeah, cool presents. I'm at that age in relationship with my family that like the presents suck pretty bad. It's usually just clothes. But my mother-in-law she said she's getting me one. She's getting me a new cappuccino machine. I'm like, what?
Oh, nice.
Shut up. She knows me so well. What'd you get, Dawn? You got anything good?
Yes. Well, my husband got me okay. I guess I'm at that age. Like, I'm the person for years, actually. I don't know. I've been old for a long time now, I guess. I love getting like socks and stuff. I'm the person like, yes, get me socks. Like, get me like the thick, like awesome winter socks and all that stuff. So I always ask for those. So I got some new fluffy socks. And then I also asked and had on my wish list, my husband got me it's like a pill organizer, but it's like each section is colored. Like it's like a rainbow kind of thing. So it looks pretty. And it's like double-sided. It's like one side has a little like sun on it for the morning, and then there's like a moon on one side for the night, and you can actually break it apart. So you can like take just 1 or 2 days worth of something, like if you have to travel. So you can like just take what you need. I don't know. I like it, and that's cool. And then we also ended up getting, for like the both of us, but we got a 70-inch TV, which is like, it's gigantic. Like we've only ever had like 40-inch TVs, and we jumped up to the 70, and has like everything else looks so tiny. And then we got a couch. We've put together like a little, it's basically like what a normal person's like living room would look like. But we have it upstairs in one of the, like, we have a spare bedroom. So we're basically calling it our relax room. And so we've got this nice couch in there and TV. And we actually did order, we've also got a nice TV stand and like a really cool coffee table that like lifts up and you can put like your laptop on it and stuff. And yeah, so we spoiled ourselves to put together that really nice room where we can actually relax. And it's good for me also, like working from home, to have somewhere else to go to, like, if I want to play a game on my laptop or, play something on my phone or whatever, I can actually go in there and not stay at my computer. So I can start to differentiate, like, okay, if I'm at my computer, it's work. If I'm in there, it's actual relax time or, do something else. So I'm looking forward to how that's going to help me, because I think mentally that will be really good to help, like, keep tasks separate when I'm working from the same space.
Sure.
Yeah, I kind of did a similar thing. I used some birthday money from my partner's grandmother. By the way, my partner's grandmother gives the best birthday cards. She always goes and gets like the crazy like animated ones that like play music and stuff, and it's just like I love that. It's such a small thing, but it to me it means more than just a simple card, because like she really went out of her way to find these wild ass cards. Like this one this year, it has a cat on it, and the tail waves back and forth to the beat of James Brown. Shucks, what's the name of the trap? I don't know, but it's a James Brown song, and the tail goes back and forth to the rhythm, and it's really cute. But anyway, like I used that money to get a KVM switch, which if you don't know, it takes two computers or more, but this one takes two computers worth of inputs and splits them between two monitors and the same monitor setup for both systems and the same keyboard and mouse and microphone and etc. So I have all my inputs go into two systems. So that it does exactly what you're saying, Dom. Like I flip the switch and I go to work, and then I flip the switch and I go, and then it's my desk again.
Oh, wow.
So like, yeah, it's because that was a big thing for me too. Like I'm working permanently from home, and I want to be able to segregate my work and my play. Like I don't want to play in the same place that I'm working, which unfortunately I can't have two desks. I just don't have the space for that. But like I can at least consolidate everything into this little handy switch where I can just literally flip the work switch, and be at work and then switch it off when I'm done. So
How about you, Siimba? Anything else exciting?
Nothing else exciting. It heckin' snowed, okay? I live in the Midwest. It was like 40 degrees all Christmas. I'm not even opposed to snow, okay? My grandparents live in Colorado. I would put on skis at 2 years old. Like, snow is cool, but like, this stuff, it's slushy. People don't know how to drive. People don't know how to act. It's just, it's wild. And I'm just like, can you not? Because that'd be cool if you could not. Yeah, it literally was like 40, 32, and I'm like, that's fine. These are winter temperatures. A couple days ago, I woke up and it said -2, and I was like, why are you like this? That's not nice.
Yeah.
There's snow all over the ground. And I just get to stay inside and play video games. Essentially, that's a lie. I had to go to work outside of the house as well. So
Boo.
I pretend like I do nothing.
Boo.
We
got a sound for that. Going to work in the snow.
Perfect.
I like that one guy. You suck.
You suck.
But well, games wise too. Obviously we played Hearthstone. I mean, that's a given. I haven't had time to play anything else, to be honest. Like I've been so busy. But like, anybody play anything good? Got any new games for Christmas? What you got?
I got Super Smash Bros. I believe it's Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. That's been super fun. I opened it up. I did not realize that you had to unlock all the characters. It starts you with like 10 characters. So like it gives you a huge incentive to play the game because you just get them by like while playing, which I didn't realize. I've always just played with people that already had the game. So I'd go in, pick my character, and have at it. We'd brawl. Yeah, I get to play that with my little brother. I moved Apex Legends over to an NVMe drive and updated that. So I played some of that today. I'm excited about that. I updated Overwatch. I'm excited for the new Pokemon game. I'm just a gamer boy.
Aren't we all though?
Yeah, we're all just little gamer boys.
and girls.
Gamer
Like
boys and,
Dawn.
and baby grills. I used to watch Asmodee every single night. I don't know if you guys watch Osmo, but like from all the way back from like Green Hat Osmo, he would always just say baby grill, and and it's stuck. I use it in everyday life now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any
I'm not
any good
playing
games, Dawn?
anything. No, it's
Aw.
all just Hearthstone. I don't. I don't know. Haven't really played much. There's some stuff that I want to play through. Like my husband and I have kind of been casually working through some co-op games, like all the We Were Here's and stuff like that. So we've been doing a little bit of that, but obviously with like the expansion that came out this month, and then it being holidays, and just work for him was super busy, and then I've been ramping up content and doing even more content than I was before. So like lately it's just been super busy in terms of all that, so I haven't gotten a chance to really play anything outside of Hearthstone.
That's fair. As long as you're still having fun with it.
I did fib slightly. I have been playing Monster Rancher too.
Monster Rancher.
Cause man, you know that thing where they're like, oh, they're just selling you your own nostalgia back to you, and I'm like, yes, they are, and I will give them my money for it.
Yeah, you could say that about quite a few things, even something that we already talked about, which is like the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's nostalgia sells.
Yeah, and I mean, it seemed like Lana was trying to continue the story to an extent. Wasn't just trying to totally just cash in on the nostalgia. I mean, it seemed like there was more to the world building that she really wanted to explore, which she did. I think the world building was very cool, but little badly paced in my opinion. And the fight choreography was not great, but
Well, it's obviously, Cinder, you weren't here last week, but last week, Siimba and I talked about things that have already happened. There's a lot of things that have happened for Mercenaries in the short time that it's been released. And then we talked about some stuff that we would like to see. But yeah, this is our first episode of the new year. So yeah, we just kind of wanted to like personalize it a little bit. And like we said, there's no news. So, there's a little bit more background about each of us, because maybe a lot of you don't know us that well, or aren't as familiar with like who we are outside of games. But with that, I think, are you all ready for our main topic?
I'm ready.
Yes.
I think Simba's
cool.
ready.
Until somebody
the
says
energy.
something, I'm just gonna SpongeBob this. It's fine.
That's the energy we're starting the year with. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So what we wanted to talk about this week, we talked previously about some of the PvE fights, but Cinder, we kind of brought one up specifically. Do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm gonna intro this, but this is gonna be the Siimba show, because Simba's got the big brain for this kind of stuff. Like, I think we all had a common frustration in the Blackrock Mountain bosses, particularly with General Drakkisath. That dude is just a stone cold bastard. It had wiped me more than any other boss. And I think that was the sentiment around the room when we were talking about it. Like, yeah, we could talk about Nefarian and Rend, because those have like the new mercenary coins behind them. But hang on though. General Drakkisath is kind of a jerk. So, we talked before about what's involved in, grinding out a specific boss. Like, how much time do you have to invest in these things? And what we don't want to see is for our lovely players to spend that time getting to Drakkisath and then washing out, because then you got to start all the way back at the beginning, and it's a long bounty. Like, could take you a good 20 minutes, maybe more, to get to Drakkisath, and you don't want that time to have gone to waste because General Drakkisath blew you off the map. So we're going to talk a little bit about not necessarily the specific comps, but some of the specific tactics and comp choices that can help you get through them, because we don't want to. What we don't want to do is say these 6 mercenaries are what you need, because guess what? Not everybody has all the mercenaries. So we're going to give you some ideas, things that worked for us, that hopefully you can incorporate into your own comp and find your own success. So, Siimba, walk us through the Drakkisath boss. How does that go down?
All right, so first things first, you're going to want to open Mercenaries and start crying. That's the first step. After which,
roll around on the floor and cry.
Yes, just periodically, right? Like you'll get through it. We'll help you get through it. But oh no, you'll make it. I promise. After you cry, you're going to cry. That's a given. I feel like. But yeah, Drakkisath is a fight in Blackrock Mountain. There's a normal. There's a heroic. And this one, it's kind of important because it gives you Diablo, Gruul, and Mr. Smite coins. I haven't used Mr. Smite. Gruul's pretty good, but Diablo was, I believe, fairly sought after.
Yep.
Not only in comp, but just like as soon as everything came out and the pre-orders and everything, like Diablo was something that people really wanted to not only obtain but upgrade as fast as possible. So that's awesome that it gives those coins. There's 8 stops. The fewest fights that I've had to do, I believe, I want to say is 5. It might be 6. But that was lucky with like a spirit healer and a boon and another boon or something like that. But you're almost guaranteed to have to do at least 5 battles. Sometimes all 8. If you don't need the spirit healer, or if you want a little XP with the stronger fights, you go through all of those. Once you get to the boss, that's when it gets tricky, because you're gonna want to cry again. Drakkisath, he's a 15,300 protector, so that's a battleground stats for you. Carry master, I think, is the only thing I've ever seen to be that large. And at the end of each turn, he restores 40 health to all of his other dragons. Well, that would be fine, except for the fact that there's 2 Volcanic Drakes, which are both dragons. They're 1,150 fighters. So if you don't want to write that down, just get to the boss, take a look. You'll see they're very large. And at first, I thought they didn't do a lot of damage. However, they do an insane amount of damage. I guess I should talk about their abilities first. The Drakes say that your characters can't be frozen. They have plus 10 fire resistance. That's very important, because the second comp or band that I built to bring in there, I said, you know what? There's 2 fighters, I will bring a lot of protectors. And I brought Ragnaros, and I did literally 0 damage before dying. So that was a great time. I did not have fun that run. I literally showed up with what I thought was the strongest comp ever in existence and failed.
Nope. Yeah.
So we live.
So don't bring your fire mercs, don't bring your frost mercs. Neither of them are of any use here.
Yes. So and I had Diablo in that comp as well, and I was like, well, that's great, because I can just make Diablo faster with Karen. Well, those attacks are fire attacks, so it still does 0 damage. When I tell you I heard them not at all, it was rough. It was a tough time. Oh man. So now that we have all of that out of there, what do we want to get through the boss? Things that are important and or helpful are mercenaries like Gruul, of whom you get coins for in this fight. Anduin, Malfurion, and Tamsin. Why? Because you're looking for things that slow things down, do AOE damage, prevent healing. Preventing healing is a big one if you want to knock off those Volcanic Drakes first. And so there's things you can find to help with that are Windfury while you're going through the run. The hot potato is actually pretty cool, as long as you don't let them blow it up on your side. Listen, it happens.
I did it. I've done it. Yep.
It happens.
It does not help.
And I cannot remember, were there any specific treasures that we found that were useful?
Not specific ones,
Okay.
but just to kind of rewind slightly, talk about like those key mercenaries that are very, very useful. You mentioned Gruul. Gruul very useful because his task 7 equipment is Dragon Skull, which provides all of your characters fire resistance, which is handy because those Volcanic Drakes, at first they spit 1 little fire at you, and it's not so bad, and then they spit like 20 at a time, and you just die. So having the fire resistance like blunts that damage a lot. And then Anduin kind of does the same thing. Anduin can reduce damage for humans with his ability, which I will crack open here. Anduin Rin, Manduin. Yeah, Holy Word Salvation. Your humans take less damage, so that helps. And then for the treasures too, there are treasures for protectors that reduce damage as well. So that just reducing, because they're those little fire breath things don't do a lot of damage individually, but they shoot a lot of them. So if you can get that damage resistance high enough, then it just becomes like incidental damage. So you should be able to heal through it if you get if you can reduce the damage enough.
Awesome. I'll probably have to try that on my next run. Is going for like damage reduction specifically. I like that thought process a lot. Not that the stopping of healing is a bad way to go, but this is just one that I haven't tried.
That's a good point too. Which are the mercenaries? Siimba, which mercenaries are they? Are they that stop the enemies from healing?
Vanaroth,
Right.
I believe, and there's one more that. So I thought there was an extra one. Turns out there is a boon you can get on the run. I thought there was 3.
Oh, really?
There's only 2. Yeah, there's a boon that you can get on the run that allows for an attack that prevents healing. It didn't land because Drakkisath summoned a taunt, so I died that run too. But it's fine. Everything's okay. I don't remember what the second mercenary is.
I think I can pull it up. So Fell Lash is Manaroth's second ability, which does damage, does a moderate amount of damage, and then the target cannot heal that turn. And then the other one is Tamsin Rome, I believe. Yeah, Tamsin is Veil of Shadows. Gain shadow damage and enemies cannot heal this turn. So that one hits everybody. So you got Manaroth hitting one target, but her thing hits all targets. But it also doesn't do damage yet. Kind of have to have a shadow comp to trigger to pair alongside the Veil of Shadows. So it can be a little challenging, but it works. And then healing tech. So you're gonna take a lot of damage in this thing. What do you like on healing tech for this fight?
Healing tech? I thought
anything
that heals. So I was running Zyrella when I was trying to get through it. Would not recommend for this boss specifically. It's not terrible. I mean, like, obviously Zyrella is a good character, but Anduin has really good AOEs. I think that'd be probably the better one. And then Malfurion has good stuff, I believe, in nature comps. Yes.
Yeah, because he has the healing staff, right? One of his equipments. I will open Malfurion. So life root staff. So whenever you cast a nature ability, restore 4 health to your characters. All right. Oh, that's a lower level. When it's higher at level 4, I think it's 6 at level 4. But the important thing there is that it's for any mercenary that casts a nature ability. So you can take Cairn, Malf, Brucon, Guff, Cookie, anybody with a nature. Anytime you cast nature ability, bam, AOE heal. So there you go. You can just heal right through it. And like you said, Anduin has Holy Nova, which is just automatic, healing on demand. So yeah, like reduce that damage, heal everybody in the party. We good. You can get there.
And then after you get there, you will celebrate because you will no longer be crying. And you will run right into Ren Blackhand, of whom I also have not beaten.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do another Ren's strat at some point, but my quick Ren strat is to pick up the potato and then blow it up on their side, because then Ren takes 180 damage.
Pop a potato, put it in a pot.
It's like, oh, you done. We done. So yeah, like so for what I'm hearing from you, Siimba, it's like shut off the healing if you can, reduce the damage from the drakes, and heal through what damage you do take, so that you can focus down those drakes one at a time, and isolate Drakkisath, because he's not that hard by himself. It's really the drakes that are rough.
True.
Yeah. I was going to say, too, another thing that you could Also consider when you are bringing the mercenaries as well, or even choosing abilities like passives and stuff, is looking at like critical hits and critical damage, which is why, Siimba, you said that you tried Xyrella. I have also tried Xyrella. Yeah, does not go well, because like one reason why is because of those fireball hits that the Cinder was talking about. Well, those deal crit damage to Xyrella, and those really start adding up fast. So it makes it really difficult to bring certain certain mercs too, because then it's like, ooh, well, they just die super fast, and then I can't really actually use them in combination with other, if you're trying Xyrella and Samuro, then Xyrella dies. You're like, oh, okay, well, cool. Now Samuro's not really doing what I want, so then your whole plan falls apart.
Yeah, because Samuro will take you all the way to the end. The Xyrella Samuro combo will just destroy every single stop up until the boss, and then it's essentially useless.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed there. Like, I wasn't necessarily expecting an easy win when I got there, but it was almost nullified entirely. Like you said, Xyrella just gets wiped off the map so quickly, especially because of how many taunts that Drakkisath summons, right? And so all the drakes, they do like, what is it, 7 damage or something like that for each one that's died. And you're just like, oh god, 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7, and they're just like smiling at you as you refill your entire board.
Ooh, had a sneeze there. Yeah, and I think that's why Malfurion ends up being so attractive for this run, because he's a protector and he heals you, and that makes life so much easier. Plus, he'll crit against the drakes, so he does a lot of heavy lifting in this particular fight if you have him.
I think Malfurion is S tier personally, like PvE, PvP. I don't know that everything has been unlocked comp-wise, surrounding or with Malfurion as just as an addition supporting character, but my personal opinion is that Malfurion is not necessarily underrated, but extremely powerful in game mode.
Yeah, like he's a protector that fights like a caster, does good damage, reduces speed or modifies speed, I should say, because he can slow and accelerate. And then offers healing on the side with his equipment, the life root staff. So I mean, like he just has a very well-rounded package that is useful and difficult to counter because he's a protector as opposed to a caster.
Yes.
I'll be excited to get him full so that I can start messing around with like Malfurion and cookie combos. Just seems fun.
Yeah. Besides, it's Cookie. You gotta play Cookie for at least the.
That's right. Okay, so one thing that I'm hearing that I just want to kind of make, I don't know how I'm wanting to say this, like make very evident. You guys have kind of mentioned it a couple of times. It feels fairly easy, at least, you should be bringing maxed mercenaries. Well, not maxed, but level 30 at least, right? They don't necessarily have to have all of their abilities maxed out and all of that, but level 30 mercenaries, and you can fairly easily get through the encounters up to the boss. But the important part is the boss itself, which is why we're spending so much time talking about it and talking about the strategies, because like Cinder said earlier, right? If you get all the way to the boss and then you lose, it's like all for nothing almost. It doesn't matter. Beating the boss is the important thing. So even if you're bringing mercenaries that aren't really feeling like they're a cohesive, a warband comp, or you're like, well, this feels kind of weird, or these aren't what I'm used to using, then yeah, it's probably gonna feel like that, because if you're struggling with that with the boss, you're gonna have to do things a little bit differently, and that's the point that I really want to drive home with this, is that you're saying all these things like, hey, use this mercenary, use this, these are some good passives, this is kind of the idea. That is for the boss. Doesn't really matter. Get through the little, garbage fights along the way, right? You don't care about those. The important part is beating the boss at the end.
100%.
Yeah, there are no checkpoints. There's no pause. Pause. There is pause. That's a lie. There is pause. However, if at any point you lose, you have to restart.
Yeah,
So
and I feel like it's like part of another one of my bones to pick with Team 5. Can we get like a checkpoint or something? Because these some of these bosses are rough, and the further you go into Blackrock Mountain, the longer the bounty is, and you end up spending a lot of time to get to a boss, and especially if it's your first time and you just have the absolute wrong composition and you get totally wiped, like it's a lot of time you spent to get there and get the consolation prize of like 18 coins or something. Like can we at least get like one do-over or something? Like it would be nice. It would be nice for players to not have to lose their time, because I feel like that grind is kind of a wall that people have to have trouble getting over to play the real meat of the content, which is the boss fight itself.
it is.
Yep.
It is 100%. It's a wall that some days I'm not willing to climb. Honestly, there's no ropes for assistance, nobody to pull me over. I'm just like, I'm gonna chill in standard today, guys.
Yeah,
Because standard is actually kind of fun right now too.
Yeah. Well, it's hard too when you've faced this boss and you're like, okay, cool, it's a it's an AI, right? Sure, it's the last thing, and maybe it's going to be a little more challenging, but when you go through that whole thing and then you get to the boss and you lose, okay, try again. Climb up there. I'm going to try things a little differently. Get to the boss and then you lose. Like, all right, I'm going to bring some different mercenaries maybe. Try something else. You get there, you get to the boss, and then you lose. Like that's also very frustrating. And, then it's like, why am I doing this? Like, why do I just keep losing to a computer? And now I can't even progress because I'm just losing, and now I can't, like, I'm gated from progressing and fighting those other bosses for coins for the mercenaries that I want. So it feels extra like demoralizing.
Yeah, and yeah, just to punctuate that, the fact that past Drakkisath is kind of notorious. He's a rough one. The very next boss, Ren Blackhand, has the Edwin coins. So General Drakkisath is the barrier not just to the Diablo coins that he can drop, but to Edwin. And then also Valera's coins are behind Nefarian, who is all the way at the end of Blackrock Mountain right now. So that's, yeah, like one sticky boss can lock out many coin grinds from players. So it would be nice to make these boss fights if not easier, but less punishing on you if you fail the first time.
Yes, agreed.
There's not many games that I found that I'm just like, I don't want to play this anymore. I don't think I've reached that exact point yet, but because there's only actually that I can think of been like 2 games that I have felt like pushed out of playing. One of them was Valorant, and that was kind of like my fault. I never played Counter-Strike Go ever, so I didn't really have the skills necessary because those are just a different animal of FPS games. And this one, I've never actually played a game like Mercenaries, like with this setup, right? Because like with Battlegrounds, there's a ton of games like that where you buy. I don't even know what those kind of games are called, like what the setup is called.
They call those auto battlers.
Just auto battlers, yeah.
Yeah.
You have your money, buy, sell. This one's been different, and I was like, okay, cool. I kind of like this. I kind of like how it's set up. Yeah, just the way I am with time. I guess, I mean, the way everyone is with time, right? Like, no one has unlimited time, so to do something for an hour and a half when I could have been grinding standard ladder or learning a different game, making a YouTube video. I don't know. I mean, and there's always going to be stuff that you can do while you're doing a thing, but it's the losing that gets me. Like, to lose for an hour and a half is rough.
Oof, yeah. Yeah, and like right now is rough. There's not a lot going on in development because of the holidays, of course, and Alterac Valley is taking up a lot of development's time, I'm sure. You combine that with the holidays, and there's just not a lot of there's not enough development energy to go to every game mode, and we're all busy right now. Like, I've been crazy busy, traveling to visit with family, and all of that doesn't give me a lot of free time to sit and do a grind. And Mercenaries grinding is so great when you, like you said, like when you can just do something else. And I haven't been doing that something else lately. Like, things have not been normal schedule wise for a while now. So, like, once things start getting back into the usual schedule, the usual routine, I think we, and then other people as well, will get back into the Mercenaries grind. But yeah, like, make this grind a little less punishing on us, please, Blizz. Please, Team Five. Like, please, make the grind a little more forgiving, for those of us who are trying to balance Mercenaries with other things.
Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
think we love you long time.
Yeah. Well, that's so true though. I mean, like, that's why we do this podcast. That's why we've been doing it. Like, we love this mode. We want to play the mode, right? But when we're sitting here, and even we who have put in a decent amount of time are like, yeah, these bosses suck, or like, we can't get past these. Like, I feel like that's saying something. I am really interested. I think we were talking about before the show, about some of the stats on like how many people are still playing, but I would love to see the statistics on how far people have made it in the PvE content. Like, what points did they stop, or how many players have completed all of it? Because I have a feeling it's probably pretty low for people who have completed all of it.
I think so. We haven't completed all of it.
Yeah. I still am myself not 100% complete.
Yeah.
I was just talking to our good friend Blister Guy from the Walk to Work podcast, and even he's like at 99% completion, and how much he plays, and it's
Yeah.
wild to me that somebody who is at like peak max playtime has not even gotten everything yet. That is wild to me.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, if you're listening to this and you've struggled with these bosses, or you've felt that frustration of these grinds, or you haven't made it all the way through these PvE fights either, you are not alone. You are not alone.
That's the reason to keep trying, right? Like,
Yes.
the game is not over yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other main points or anything else that you guys want to include in our main topic before we start doing our wrap up?
Good question. That's a good question. I feel like there's a difference between having a lot, like enough content, not enough content, a lot of content, and then like insane content. Not to harp on it, but I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh, if not everyone's finished all the content, like theoretically, that could be a good thing. That means there's enough content to keep people busy for a long time. But I feel like it's actually more of, like we were talking about, like the wall. Like, it's not by choice, or like Skyrim, right, where there's endless side quests. Like, those are not the reasons that people haven't finished stuff, which would be good reasons.
I like that analogy. Yes. I don't want Mercenaries to be Dark Souls, because
Yes.
I don't play those kinds
Yes.
of games, and that's not what I want from my experience. I don't want it to be Dark Souls where I'm just losing over and over and over, and I can't beat the boss. And then as soon as I beat one boss, I'll be like, all right, I beat the game. That's it. I don't care. It was the first boss, but that's it for me. I don't want it to be that.
Is that what we need? We need we need the spirit of other people who have died at this boss to kind of show us how they died, so that we know what not to do.
That would be so good.
That would be amazing.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do have one last thing to add to this. This is something that came up pre-show. If you are not running Deck Tracker while you're playing Mercenaries, you should. It is a huge quality of life improvement, and you will hate your grind less if you do it, I promise.
Yes, especially if you are doing tasks. That was the big thing. But if you have Deck Tracker up, you can actually, it'll pop up and you can hover over it at the bottom and it will show you specific progress on the tasks that you have. So if you go into a fight and you're like, oh crap, which ability was I supposed to use? Or how much damage do I still need to do? You can check. It's there.
Very, very helpful.
Super BA. Like, one of the best things. I freaked out about it earlier because I thought I missed an update. I didn't.
Yeah,
But I will not be playing without Deck Tracker from now on. I tell you that much.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's all I got. Yeah.
okay. Fair enough. I think that was pretty good. That was a good, nice, well-rounded show. We talked about a wide range of things, and we would love to hear from all of you as well. Let us know, are you struggling with any bosses? Which ones are you struggling with? Let us know. We would love to talk about these and dive more in depth with these and hopefully help out getting you through those bosses. So you can find the show on YouTube, everywhere that you can find audio podcasts, and a couple places to reach out to us. You can find us on Twitter at Spirit Healer Pod, or send us an email at spirithealerpodcast@gmail.com. And also you can jump in our Discord and get in the conversation there. We've had some great conversations lately, people talking, and it's, it gives us ideas for what we want to talk about on the show as well when you get in there and talk about a variety of things. So let us know in there what kinds of things you want to see, what you're doing in Mercenaries. And as always, we want to thank Purrple Cat for the use of the amazing music that we use for the show. And to find more from each of us, you can find me on Twitter, DonnieDK, DAWNIEDK, over on Twitch and my Hearthstone YouTube, dragonrider DK. I have also started a content-focused YouTube. If you want to find out more about creating content, you can find that on YouTube at Dawning Growth. And every week I talk all about standard Hearthstone over at the Dr. 3 Hearthstone podcast. And Cinder, where can we find more from you?
Oh, just in the Twitter. It's at Cinder Ascendant. You can also go to the Discord. Engage with us on the Discord. It is there for you to engage us very directly and to grow our little community. Challenge me to a game of chess. I have an account on chess.com. It is my username. You can find me, add me, and you could probably beat me quite soundly because I haven't played competitively in about 20 years. So yeah, have fun with that. And look, the final word. This holiday has passed, but I just want to remind everybody that you choose your family. Okay, family is love, not blood. And if you have a toxic family, you have every right to step away and protect yourself. You have that right. Draw your boundaries and stand up for yourself if you have to.
100%. Yes. Well, Siimba, where can we find more from you?
You can find me on the socials at SiimbaTV_, Siimba with 2 eyes. And then we now have a Hearthstone specific YouTube channel under Siimba Stone. It also has 2 eyes, but it's pretty straightforward. SIIMBA Stone, and it's just gonna be whatever you guys want to see. I almost said engraving. I meant including. No, what am I saying? Involving Hearthstone. I quit. It snowed. Okay, everybody leave me alone. I don't like it here. So yeah, there's a couple videos out. Card reviews. I went over all of the heroes. I'm gonna post a video later about all of the objective cards, and then some new cool decks that will be nice this season. And then I'm probably going to make a video with some statistics that I find from one of the Hearthstone websites about what decks are best to climb with Legend for January 2022. Good stuff.
Hell yes. Yeah. Love it. Well, please reach out to us at any of those places and get more conversation going. We'd love to hear from you. But for this week, that is going to do it. As always, thank you for choosing us as your resting place of choice. Woo!